What is up, everyone? I'm coming on here for a couple of plays for the day. We do go ahead and have our first real official day of losing here in July, which is honestly like no big deal, right? This is what a losing day looks like on this channel. We're not going to go ahead and like switch up our strategy overnight just because we lost one day. As you guys saw yesterday, we went up like 11 or 12 units with a 10x hit, some 3-mans, but that's beside the point here. Really what the point is that every day I try to be very transparent. I show you guys the wins, the losses, and then also I try to make you guys money over the long term, right? Those are really my two core pillars. It's as simple as that. And that's what we've been able to do over the past 15 months, over the past 2 months, whatever it is. If you guys don't know, the past 2 months, we're up about 115 to 120 units. Last year, we went up 600 units alone doing this exact same strategy. And this year so far, we are up 231 units doing that. And you guys will see some kind of helpful markers here to point out how much you would be up if you're a $5, $10, $25, or $100 better, all right? So you guys will see so far in July, I don't normally show this, but this is just kind of something I saw on Pickett that helps me track my bets. You guys will see technically on the 6th, we did go down about 0.36 units, but it was like right after that we hit that 10x, so it didn't even really matter. So I'm just kind of calling this a break-even day. But yeah, yesterday was really our true first losing day of July. We've been crushing it this past 2 months. We've been crushing it this past 3 weeks on this channel. Where is it, guys? Where's my screenshot? Yeah, all of these picks here are the past like 3 weeks. I would say maybe past 20 days of these YouTube videos. All of these picks have been sent out. So some of these times we've had 3-day win streaks, 4-day win streaks. We are now on this channel on like I think 3-day losing streak or something like that. But again, that's what I want to get across, that betting is not a linear game. Some days you're going to go up 40 units like we did in the first week of June. We went up like 40 units on this weekend. Some days you're going to go down 4 or 5 units, right? That is part of betting. It's not like investing in like a bond or investing in something really slow growing or something like that, right? The reason why we're able to have 20 unit days or 60 unit months, 70 unit months is because betting is a volatile game, right? Some days you're going to go down, some days you're going to go up. The most important thing is that you stay level-headed and you stay, I don't know, your emotions do not get into betting, right? And again, we have a winning strategy that wins over the long term. We're going to keep playing that winning strategy over and over and over again, right? So want to say that obviously the guys who are like in the VIP over the past however long are crazy up, and there's really nothing to say. This is more of just talking about how to actually think about betting, because I think a lot of people struggle. You know, I've been doing this for 15 months, so I've seen a lot of ins and outs. I've seen a lot of people bet, and a lot of people struggle with the emotional side of the game, right? They'll see one loss and they're like, oh man, this doesn't work, where it's like, dude, you have not been here through the 5,000 plus bets that I have bet, right? Or the 5,000 times that we have bet on this. I've also been doing this since like 2022. Guys, we win long term. Just trust me on that. So hopefully, guys, you appreciate, like on a losing day, the transparency. When we win, I'm going to be very excited about the wins. Obviously, you guys put your hard-earned money on these wins. I spend a lot of time finding these wins. And then when we lose, I'm going to come on and show you guys the losses and show you guys, maybe why they lost or whatever it is. But yeah, we do go ahead and hit this with League of Legends correlation. And then this one misses by like 2 kills. This one is Knight. And I want to zoom in on this game because I was talking about Knight for the past like 3 days. I think I said this out like 2 or 3 days ago on this YouTube channel. Tiffany Hayes goes under for us 2 nights ago, and then Knight goes off and gets 25 assists, all right? But his line bumped down to 21 by game time. So we took him at 22.5. His line bumped down to 21 by game time. That is all we want to see, all right? That is all we want to see. Who knows if Knight gets, 30 assists or if he gets 10 assists. We just want to see bumps over a long period of time. You guys will see even yesterday's YouTube play unfortunately did miss because of the taco, right? We took Hunter Brown over on the taco. That missed. Can't really control that. He only gets 3 strikeouts, but Ruler, again, we took him at 18.5 and he bumped down to 17.5, which is a huge difference, right? I always think about this in NBA terms. If you took someone at 19.5 points and they bumped down to 17.5 points, that is a huge difference right there, taking that. Same thing with like Gumayushi down here. He's already at 12 and we took this yesterday on the VIP, and I also sent this out to my free Twitter and stuff like that, all right? So again, you guys know we win long term, and let's go ahead and get into the play of the day. I want to try to make these videos a little bit like shorter. I feel like I'm rambling on a lot, so sorry about that if I do that in some videos, but trying to get these videos a little bit shorter and a little bit more snappy. So first and foremost, let's get into the first play of the day. Khalil over 32.5 assists is my favorite play by far today. This is happening tomorrow. It is AL versus BLG, which are two franchises, two teams that are actually in the same league. All right, so this is the semifinals of the MSI, the Mid-Season Invitational. Now, yesterday I said in these semifinals, normally these teams play very passively. They play very, they play where they are not taking that many risks early on, and they're playing very passive. Now, both of these teams play in the LPL, which is the Chinese league. Historically, the Chinese league, like famously, the Chinese league is very, very aggressive. All right, so these teams have actually played each other already like 12 to 13 times so far this season because they're in the same league. And the past 9 games, I'm just taking the past 9 games because that's really what's happened this past month that they've played each other. Again, they play each other a ton. AL, anyone's legend that we're betting Khalil over on, AL is 6-3 versus BLG. So the last 9 games, they've won 6, they have lost 3. Once again, guys, I think this is going to be a 2-1. All right, I've said this multiple times so far this tournament. Yesterday was FlyQuest versus BLG. What ended up happening? It ended up being a 2-1. All right. So again, I think this is going to be a 2-1. The favored team is AL. I think they're going to take 2 wins, and the unfavored team is BLG. I think they're going to take 1 win. Again, if you look at this here, AL is winning 66% of the games that they've played. I think that's the math, right? They've won like 66% of the games they've played. Again, that puts it in perfect odds to go 2-1 right there. So I think AL wins 2 games. I think BLG wins 1 game this series in the 3 maps we're betting them on. And you're going to hear this a lot, or not a lot, I'm going to say it now. Khalil, I think's line should be about 35 to 36. All right, his line should be about 35 to 36. Sorry for my handwriting, as always, but 35 to 36, I think, is his fair line. So getting it at 32.5 is absolutely insane. So take this all the way up to, I think, 33.5, maybe even 34 if it bumps that high. He averages 12 assists per game versus BLG, so in those 9 games they've played. So that right there would put him at 36. Again, these are very, not only do they win against BLG, but these are very aggressive teams. So there's going to be a lot of kills, a lot of assists that happen. Also, if you look over his past, I believe this is his past 15 games, he averages 11.8 assists. So right in line there again, that would put him right at 35.6. Again, like I've said multiple times, AL and BLG are both very aggressive. One additional thing about Khalil is that the champions he plays in League of Legends, and you won't really understand this unless you've watched some of these games or understand how League of Legends works, but the champion pool that he plays is very, very good towards assists. All right, a lot of the champions he plays end up getting a lot of assists just by how the champion works. All right. And I'm trying to explain this in a way that a lot of you guys can understand, but some champions, they just get more assists than others with the different abilities that they do, all right? Some champions, they literally, at a click of a button, can get, 5 assists in a team fight just because that one spell will get them a ton of assists, if that kind of makes sense. So Khalil, I think, is a absolutely amazing play at 32.5. I even think if BLG ends up taking 2 games away from AL, he could still potentially get this with how aggressive these teams are. And every time they play BLG, they at least have 1 game where Khalil will get like 25 to 27 assists in 1 game alone, all right? And we're betting on him in 3 maps. So in 1 game alone, he could be at like 25 assists, and then he would only need like, 7 or 8 assists the next times that they were playing, all right? So before we get into Ariel Adkins, why I'm taking her over this time, I do want to say, if you do want to get my VIP, all you have to do is text me the word Bovada to my number on the screen right here. I will get you in for 2 free months of the VIP. Super simply, I will actually Venmo or Cash App you back the 25 deposit that I'm going to tell you to put into Bovada. It is as simple as that. Just text me and you will get access to my VIP with like 5 to 10 minutes of work, guys. Super simple. And again, you guys can also sign up for Better. Right now, they're doing a play 10, get 30 instantly promo, which is huge. It's pretty much a free 3x entry that you guys will get on Better by signing up for that. You can just text me the word Better to my number right here for 2 months free of the VIP. 2 months free of the VIP is really, really valuable right now because it will take you all the way up until the beginning of football, I believe, right? So we're going to have some preseason games. We're going to have some college football games, and you guys will get a taste of that as well. And right now, there is Canadian football to bet on. There is all those esports that I always bet on. There's PGA, honestly, we've been doing very well on. And yeah, there's a lot to bet on, honestly, right now. Once it hits the weekend, all right? Once it hits like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, there's a lot to bet on. Earlier in the week, it's pretty dry, not going to lie. That's why I've only been sending out like 4 or 5 entries those days. But once it really hits today, which is Wednesday, I do try to send out a lot of entries, all right? So get ready for a lot of entries today and tomorrow. Yeah, let's get into Ariel Adkins, all right? All right, so a couple of days ago, I actually took Ariel Adkins to go under, and we're taking her over 19 points plus assists, by the way, guys. So a couple of days ago, I actually took her under versus the Minnesota Lynx. Now, the Minnesota Lynx are by far and away the #1 defense in the WNBA. So she did actually go over because we took her PRA. She went over by 1 versus the Minnesota Lynx game. But again, they are the #1 defense. Now, a big reason why I'm betting this is because these are two very, very bad defenses, all right? We have the Dallas Wings versus the Chicago Sky. They are both bottom 3 defenses in the league. And what I really want to show you guys, again, you guys see a lot of red. We're taking her over, by the way, all right? So even though you see a lot of red, we're still taking her over. And the reason being is because if you look at the head-to-head games that she has played versus the Dallas Wings this season, right? These 3 games don't matter because she was on a different team. She was actually on the Washington Mystics back last season. But this season, guys, she got 23 points versus them the first time they played, 23 points plus assists. The second time they played, she got 29 points plus assists and only 25 minutes of game time, right? Which is crazy. That's more than 1 point plus assist per minute that she's in the game, right? That's crazy numbers there. And what I want to really show you guys is in these 2 games, you guys will see the scores. I can't hover over it, but you guys will see the scores. It was Dallas Wings 92, Chicago Sky 97, all right? So they won this game, 97 points they put up. This other game they played, it was 94 for the Sky and then 83 for the Wings. So they put up 97 points and 94 points both times they played the Wings. That is a lot of points for the WNBA. A lot of these games will only go to like, the winning team will only get like 80 points or 82 points or something like that. But both times they have won, they have gotten in the mid-90s every time they have won, all right, guys? So that's a lot of points. If you look at some of these past 10 games, you'll see that like over here she gets 17, so she does go under, but they're playing the top 3 defense, the Atlanta Dream, and they only put up 70 points, all right? So they put up 25 more points in the other games that they have won versus the Wings, all right? So 25 points is huge. That means she's going to probably get 1 more assist right there in those 25 points, and she'll probably get maybe 3 or 4 more points in those 25 points, all right? So you'll see that consistently throughout here, right? You'll see, a lot of times, again, here they lost versus the Lynx. They only put up 75 points. Here they lost versus the Mystics, and they only put up 78 or 79 points. So again, if they can put up mid-90 level points, like 95 points, 97 points, like they have the past 2 games, then I do think this is really, really good for the over, because the more points that the team puts up, obviously the more assists for Adkins and the more points for Adkins. That's how basketball works, guys. The more you're getting points, the more you're gonna put up here. Also, she's playing a very, very soft defense in Dallas Wings here. They are 10th in points allowed, 10th out of 13th, and they're actually the worst team in the league versus assists allowed. All right, so this matchup really bodes well for Adkins. So that is why I'm taking Adkins. Again, this is the play of the day. If you guys want to sign up for Bovada, if you guys want to sign up for better, do so. Hopefully you guys appreciate the transparency. Again, every single day I try to be as transparent as possible. I show you guys all the wins, the losses. Of course, over a long period of time, we actually lose more than we win record-wise. So you guys will see over the past 2 months, we've actually lost over 300 times, and we've only won 150 plus times because we take a lot of 10x, 9x, and 8.5x. So an entry like this, guys, sorry, no, that's not it. An entry like this that we hit on Monday is going to pay for 9 losses. All right, so you can scroll down, count 9 losses. This entry right here just paid for all of those losses, right? So these are the kind of the big money plays that we hit probably like a couple of times a week here. So don't miss out on these 4-mans. That's why we play these 4-mans. They are massive for the bankroll. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to go ahead and end it here, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.